in time, right, technology is always going to advance. And to the person who says, it's not possible to be professional on an iPad in any type of creative, everyday lifestyle, I'll say, okay, you're gonna see, because 2 years down the line, you're gonna be the guy looking to jump in when everybody's 10 miles ahead of you and your gig is gone.
The business.
This is Henny the Business, who needs no introduction but has worked with the likes of Drake, Kendrick, the list goes on, and I got a chance to hang out with him and see how he now produces all of his music on iPad Pro.
I wanted to be able to create like I was 18 years old again, right? When I was young, I had one piece of gear, I had one keyboard, and I was like, the ideas would come quick. I'd be in school, I'd be in college, and be around with my boys, and we could just vibe and kick it. But as you get older, as you get more successful, you get more gear, right? You get the best of the best. And what happens? Your workflow slows down because now you're just looking for the best of the gear, right? Now you're just looking for the top-notch things, and it slows you down. And when I initially got on the iPad 4 years ago, I wanted something where I could generate ideas quickly. Back when I first started, I was on the iPad Air 2, and I was using Beatmaker 2, and I was showing a lot of the producers in the studio, whether it be like Polo to Dawn or Jermaine Dupri, some of the guys that are out there in Atlanta doing music where I'm at. And the word got around that I was making this music on an iPad using a few little devices, a little MIDI keyboard, and I got a call from this 305 number, and I was like, yo, this is Timbo the King. So I'm saying, I was so what? Right, I never talked to him a day in my life, and he was telling me, how much he enjoyed thinking the idea of using an iPad, and he's always been on the cutting edge of music. He's always been on the cutting edge of trying new things, and so he wanted my take on it, and so we talked for almost an hour, and we exchanged information, but from there it was just kind of like, you're doing something right, Justin. Just keep going. Just keep going. And so that was just another thing that had me like, okay, this is real. This can really work on a professional level. Today was awesome. It was one of the days where, for me, it was a transcending moment of seeing the tech that I've been after and the career that I've had start to really mesh together. And we created some magic. We created some fucking fire. I know we're gonna bleep that out, but it's cool. It was just coming together, bringing really high-end tech with really, the next level of music. And I believe that is with the iPad Pro for sure. So started out, right? I started with the app Blocks Wave. That's my main app to kind of get ideas generated quickly. So it's a bunch of loops that I'm going through, right? I'm trying to find that vibe, that energy. So I brought in a Moog bass, and I literally sampled that into Blocks Wave. Brought some keys and some pianos, sampled that as well. And started building the percussion, building the drums, and had a good vibe. People ask about the CME X Key Air all the time. It's my 25-key Bluetooth keyboard, and when I first saw that keyboard, I was like, this is made specifically for Apple products. Like, it just had that look to it. It's thin, it's lightweight, it's Bluetooth. You can put it in your bag right behind your laptop, and the latency, right? The tactile feel of it. You don't feel any type of issues when it comes to trying to get your ideas out. From there, we exported that and took the idea and brought it into Beatmaker 3. And then from there, I took the loop that we had. We had a nice loop, and we brought in the legend Ken Lewis, and he wanted to see exactly how that could work, from a mixing standpoint, mixing on an iPad, and try to give him a few tips, try to see if it was real, and I think it with me. So at the end of the day, I think he saw the capabilities. I saw, somebody who's a legendary engineer be able to, see the possibilities of what I do every day. That's nice. Yeah, that's dope. fuzz.
Can you automate on the fly? So like if you armed, I think it's too complicated.
Right,
Right now.
you
But
can though. So
Right, but if I armed this and in real time I could
yes,
just manually
yeah, that's what you call MIDI effect the MIDI. I think that's how you do it.
Yeah. Let's hear that in the whole mix. Then. And then if I just want to adjust the levels, right? So I could bypass the fuzz and just hear what it's doing without it.
Yep.
That's nice.
It didn't even dawn on me the fact that, if you've been in the era of, touching knobs and making sure you're getting the right type of mix kind of from the way you feel it, the way you feel the buttons and the knobs, and to be able to have everything so tactile on an iPad. I saw it, it was like a thing just went off in his brain and he was like, yeah, this could work.
I never really thought I would be doing this on an iPad, so...
But from your experience, it's very capable, right?
Yeah, I mean the thing I love about it is it's all tactile, and I come from old school analog. You have 15-foot mixing consoles in front of you, and those have gotten smaller and smaller. But I'm still on an analog board, and one of the reasons I'm on an analog board is because it's all tactile, and I can touch it, and and work it, and get the feel for that musical connection that turning the knobs gives you and moving the faders gives you. And it feels like one of the things that I have always disliked about the mouse that's kept me analog for so long is that tactile experience and being able to look at the whole console and just grab whatever you want to tweak on the fly. And to me, this is like the best version I've seen so far of that in the box. This, I am definitely going to be like taking this to the beach and putting the headphones on with the controller and sitting there for hours at a time just making music. And my favorite part is the tactile response of it, that I can just scroll around and I can very easily select everything that I want to do, and I don't have to use a mouse to do it. That to me, I love that.
It might be awesome to see Dr. Dre on the iPad, right? I mean, the whole lineage with Beats and Apple, and just the fact of like somebody like Ken talking about his tactile. So to have him see it, to have him like, okay, I can really, because I know he was one of the last to say, I'm jumping into digital. I still love my tape. I still love my 2-inch reels. I still love my analog gear. But to go full circle and say, I can mess with this, it would be like, okay, yes, like that's the stamp of approval from a producer for sure.